want your comments won't relate. Silence on my page for your oh my god, he changed. Young African secret, I just need some
Hey play cousins, and welcome to an at work movie review. And if my boss is watching this, all my work is done. So this movie review is on the movie Old People. I actually saw this on being Mylan's vlog because I watch his vlog, so I wanted to give the movie a try to see what it was about because they gave their reviews. So I was like, oh, okay, that sounds like a pretty good movie. And you know, everybody's gonna have their own opinion. So when I went to watch the movie, I had already had their review in mind. So it was 3 different opinions from his vlog. And with those opinions, 2 people said that the movie was horrible and mine said that the movie was good. So I was like, oh, okay, so maybe they're being hard on the movie, so let me go check it out for myself. Never trust anybody's information but your own. If you didn't learn anything from Players Club, you should have learned that. So, pulled up the movie on Netflix and to watch it, right? Pulled it up, and in the beginning, it's basically starting out, this girl is taking over a shift for her friend that she works with, like they work together, and it's at a long-term care facility. And so she goes into the patient's room. She's looking for the patient. When she finally finds the patient, like he's sitting there like he's catatonic and not moving, then all of a sudden he busts on the face with his oxygen machine. So I was like, what the? And she was looking for him, and then she was begging and pleading like, please don't, because he hit her one good time when she fell, and then he kept hitting her, of course, until he killed her. So I was like, okay, well, maybe she wasn't treating him right or whatever. Maybe something happened between him for him to just all of a sudden, because like I said, literally he was just, then he picked up the oxygen tank and bashed her. Boom. So I was like, okay, well, maybe she did something to him that we didn't see, because this is the beginning of the movie. It's raining, it's storming. She's on the phone with her little yeah, and she's like, okay, I gotta go because, I'm taking over the shift. Went in, and he knocked her out, literally. Goodbye. She went to see Jesus. Okay, so then they started saying how, basically like some kind of old tale, I can't remember which tribe it was or whatever. Basically, they were, hold on, y'all. I gotta open the building. Y'all wanna open the building? No. I'll be back. Okay, so with them basically saying that, if an elderly person is treated bad by somebody, they get possessed by this spirit, or somebody, I'm thinking somebody like your ancestors comes down and gives you all this strength, and you beat up or fight back the people who were treating you bad. Hold on. So, if that's how I took it. That's how I read. Like they were trying to give us like a prelude to how or why the old people were acting the way that they act. My assumption, right? So the movie goes into where this lady and her 2 children are going to her sister's wedding, and it's basically back at her hometown. So she's moved to the city, is back in her hometown, and she's like visiting. And the way that the kids are talking, her and her husband are no longer together, they're divorced. And of course the oldest, which is a girl, her daughter, they're beefing, and you can kind of tell, like, you know, the kids are not happy about the divorce, about the separation. So they get into they're riding through the town, and her son noticed. He was like, what's up with the old people? Because it's just literally like a lot of old people standing around. It's a small town, it's not really a lot going on, but the older people are just standing around looking. I don't know, they're just standing around looking. So they go to the nursing home where her dad is, and it's only one in town, of course. But when they get there, like, it's an eerie type feeling, and of course all of the old people are staring at her. And so even one of the old man walks up to her and calls her a name, which is not her name. And so she's like, I'm sorry, I'm not her. I'm somebody else, basically. And so she looked at one of the nurses and was like, she was like, you know, they barely get visitors. Nobody really comes around. So anytime visitors come here, like, everybody is staring and looking because nobody comes to visit them. So they're excited to see people, basically. So she goes to see her dad. She's inviting her dad to the reception of the wedding of her sister, which they both have the same father. And she apologizes and says, basically, it's been too long, I should have come sooner. Dad starts crying. They leave the long-term care facility and go to the location where the wedding is going to be. So the wedding is taking place in like this, I think it's their old house, and her sister's future husband is redoing it so they can live there, right? Because it's like an island somewhere. So they having a good time. They party. Wedding lasts basically into the middle of the night, and then everybody is dispersing and leaving to go home. And all of a sudden, the sister, they want to go. You know, the husband is surprising her. He was like, "Come on, let me show you what I did to the house." Because as I stated, he's redoing her childhood home. So that's where they're going to be spending their honeymoon. So they go there, and lo and behold, one of the men from the nursing home, he comes into the door. Now let me back up, because at the nursing home, where it's all of these patients, it's about 80 of them. I'm exaggerating, so I'll say 20, 30. I'll say 30. It's like 30 of them all together, but it's 2 nurses for the whole facility. 2 for 30 patients. And they were all gathered at the window listening to the wedding. They was listening to the music. And so the male nurse, because it was a female nurse and a male nurse, so the male nurse closed the window. He was like, okay, bedtime. And they was like, let us listen to the music just a little while longer, which I didn't see. It was like, where they going? I didn't see the problem why he didn't. He was like, no, bedtime. But then on the other hand, I guess their schedules, they have to keep to. But yeah, so she was like, no, just a little while longer. And somehow, some way, either she attacked him or he kind of pushed her, or she fell, something like that. So the leader of the old people like stood up, and so basically they ended up beating him up type situation and then killing him. The girl, the female nurse, was downstairs, and she was looking for another patient, and that patient was biting the electrical cord, and she was trying to call 911 because she felt something was off. Like, they all started like attacking her or whatever. So with that, she was like trying to call 911, and 911 she couldn't get to because the man busted in the head. Like, I didn't get it. Good morning. The man busted in the head. So with the man busting her in the head, she ended up being dead too. Anyway, go to the honeymoon, and when you get to the honeymoon, and he's walking in their house, he ended up killing them too. It was literally like they were zombies, alive but zombies, and was killing people for no reason, which didn't make sense to me because the beginning of the movie stated they only supposed to kill the people that did them bad. So I didn't get it because they were killing people that did absolutely nothing to them. They were killing people that they didn't even know. So basically the moral was they was mad because they got old and felt like the people who were young at the moment was taking it for granted, and they was mad, so they just wanted to kill them. They just went on a killing spree because they were old people. Yeah, I don't recommend the movie. I give it 2 halos. Two. Side note, also make sure when there is a divorce, a breakup, and children are involved, please make sure your new partner is extremely sincere about your children. Because there's a part in this movie that showed the ex-husband's new girlfriend, wife, true colors about his children. That heifer. Whoa. Literally, I was sitting there like, I knew like she didn't like the wife, the ex-wife. You could tell. Excuse me. You could tell, like, because in all actuality, you can tell that there was still love between her and her ex-husband. There was still love there, which I'm pretty sure that it was because, and it would always be because they were high school sweethearts. They were teenagers when they first started, and then for it to dissolve, of course, nobody's happy, but they co-parent extremely well for their children. And even with that, he still tried to show his current partner respect. But when the shit hit the fan and it came down to the new partner being an actual parent to his children, ooh, baby. Now that part of the movie, I was like, I be got. Now, I'm not even going to trip. I gave it a 2 because for me, it didn't stay on plot. It didn't stay on plot for me. So that's why it has a 2. But as far as like the action, like if you just want the action and the killing and the gore, then okay, like it's worth the watch for that. But as far as the plot is what they were saying, why the ancestors will give the old people this, it wasn't even, they didn't even say power, they said possession. So they were possessed. I mean, but it clearly stated they were possessed because they were treated badly. But the people that they were doing all this dirt to literally didn't even know them. So it didn't stay on plot for me, which is why they got a 2. But as far as that section and keeping the entertainment going with the story line, that part, I was like, well, I'll be damned. And I kind of figured that part out anyway because of how she was talking to the ex-wife. And then how she was watching them interact at the wedding. Number one, emotions are high at weddings and funerals. Emotions are high. But when you are co-parenting and your children want you to be together, so to speak. I mean, they wanted them to be back together anyway, but they want you, your children want to see you interact
together. If there's a healthy co-parenting situation. If it's unhealthy, baby, it's a no. Like, you're gonna have to tell your little Teddy that's not gonna happen. Like, you can go hang out with your daddy, you can be with your daddy, but your mama and your dad, it's a no. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of those just can't get along. It is what it is. But you also have to make sure when you move on that new partner ain't going after your kids because they are envious and jealous of the old. Put it like that. So even if you don't want to watch, I would suggest you watch anybody in a relationship, man or woman, woman or woman. Go watch that part. Don't watch that part. I promise you, it's worth the watch. And you can also tell. Let me go ahead and give that up too. You can also tell that it's not the original is not an English movie. You can tell like they changed the language to make it English, so you can basically understand and watch. But all in all, the only reason they got it too, like I said, the action, the gore, the thriller part of it, sticking on the Halloween theme, is straight. It only gets a 2 from me because it did not stay on plot. Like, it didn't make sense because they were just killing any and everybody. They were just killing people just to kill people. Yeah, they were killing people just to kill people. Because, I don't know. They were killing people just to kill people. Like, there was no, why were you over there? They were killing people just to kill people. These people didn't treat them bad. These people didn't work at the long-term care facility. They killed, put it like this, they killed the whole, no, I'm not going to film that. Go watch it. Go watch.
I love you the most because you're definitely the dopest in real life, and I'll see you in the next video.